This is our storeroom operations here at Lalays Pan American Cuisine. At Lalays, we serve upscale casual Panamanian food with flavors that pull from all across the Americas. And none of that would be possible without a rock-solid storeroom. That's why today we're focusing on the key areas that make it all work: purchasing the right ingredients, managing our inventory, staying on budget, keeping everything safe, and planning for a more sustainable operation. Before we jump into the storeroom systems themselves, let me give you a quick picture of what Lalays really is. We're an upscale casual restaurant inspired by Panamanian cuisine, with beautiful American and Caribbean influences woven throughout the menu. Everything we do centers around fresh, authentic ingredients that bring those flavors to life. On a typical day, we serve between 250 and 300 covers, so our kitchen and storeroom stay busy. Our goal is simple but important: create an elegant yet approachable space where every guest feels genuinely welcome the moment they walk in. And that means every operational decision we make, especially in the storeroom, has to protect that experience. We never want our guests to feel anything less than cared for. We cater mostly to young professionals and food lovers between the ages of 25 and 45. These are people who appreciate quality, flavor, and a warm atmosphere. And at the heart of our menu are some very special signature ingredients. You'll become very familiar with culantro, yucca, coconut, and panela. These are the building blocks that give Lalays its unique identity, so we treat them with extra care from the moment they arrive in the storeroom until they reach the plate. Understanding who we are and what we stand for will help you see why the way we handle purchasing, inventory, and everything else in the back really matters. All right, let's talk about how we turn our beautiful menu into smart purchasing decisions. We've done a full menu analysis on 10 of our signature items. For each one, we took the original recipe portions, costed them out completely, and then converted everything into the actual bulk units that our suppliers deliver, things like cases, boxes, and bags. This helps us order with precision and keep our costs under control. Here are the 10 signature items we focused on. You'll see favorites like our chayote and pork open-faced wontons, coconut braised short ribs, chicken sancocho, our coconut curry lobster tail, and our coconut tembleque with plantains for dessert. These dishes really represent what Lalays is all about. Now, on the purchasing side, we've translated all of those recipes into practical weekly bulk orders. For example, we typically go through about 5 cases of chicken thighs per week, 4 boxes of yuca, 10 cases of coconut milk, 80 bunches of fresh culantro, and 4 bags of panela. The best part is that every recipe was carefully scaled up from single plate portions into full costing sheets, then rounded up to match exactly what our suppliers sell. That means when you place a weekly order, you're not guessing. You're ordering exactly what we need based on real usage. This system keeps our storeroom organized, reduces waste, and makes sure we always have the fresh, high-quality ingredients our kitchen needs to deliver consistent, delicious food to our guests. Moving into the first big pillar, purchasing. One of the most important decisions we make in the storeroom is who we buy from. After carefully reviewing sample bids, we selected 3 main suppliers based on price, quality, delivery reliability, and how well they align with our sustainability goals. For dairy and dry goods, all the everyday staples our kitchen needs, we work with Sysco Foods. They give us reliable, consistent supply week after week. For our specialty Panamanian ingredients like culantro, panela, and yuca, we chose Latin Provisions. They won us over with superior quality, and because they support small local farms. And for fresh fish and shrimp, we go with Gulf Seafood Co. Their daily deliveries keep our seafood as fresh as possible. These 3 partners were chosen very intentionally. Together, they help us maintain the high standards our guests expect while keeping operations smooth and efficient. When you're helping with ordering, you'll quickly get familiar with each of them and why they matter so much to Lalays. Now let's talk about how we actually keep the right amount of product in the storeroom without overstocking or running out intentionally. We use something called par stock and reorder points. Here's how it works. Take a look at these numbers. For chicken thighs, our par stock is 5 cases. That's the maximum we want to keep on hand. We set the reorder point at 2 cases, meaning when we drop down to 2, it's time to order 3 more. Same idea for yuca, coconut milk, fresh culantro, and panela. So what does par stock actually mean? It's simply the maximum amount of each item we keep in the storeroom. The reorder point is the level that tells us it's time to place a new order before we run out. We calculate that reorder point using this formula: daily usage multiplied by lead time in days, plus a little safety stock. This smart system prevents us from over-ordering and tying up money in excess inventory, while still making sure we never run short during our busiest weekends. It's one of the easiest and most effective ways to keep our storeroom balanced and our kitchen running smoothly. Once ingredients arrive, proper storage is critical. Let me walk you through exactly how we handle things in each area of the storeroom. For dry storage, we keep the temperature between 50 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. This area is perfect for panela, spices, canned goods, and dry hominy. Everything stays at least 6 inches off the floor and away from the walls. We follow strict FIFO rotation, first in, first out, and every item gets labeled with its receive date and use-by date. In the refrigerated section, we maintain 35 to 40 degrees. Raw meats always go on the bottom shelves to prevent any drips onto other products. Fresh produce stays in crates that allow good airflow. Again, everything is clearly labeled with received and use-by dates, and we rotate using FIFO. For frozen items, we keep the temperature at 0 degrees or below. All seafood, portioned meats, and plantains must be wrapped tightly, clearly labeled, and rotated with FIFO. When it's time to thaw, we always move items to the refrigerator, never on the counter. Following these procedures protects food safety, extends shelf life, and makes sure every ingredient stays at peak quality for our guests. Accurate tracking is what keeps everything running smoothly, so we use a hybrid system, a smart mix of digital tools and manual checks that doesn't overcomplicate our fast-paced kitchen. On the digital side, we use Restaurant 365 software to track our high-cost items in real time. It gives us live visibility into what we have on hand. On the manual side, our prep and line cooks fill out production sheets every day, showing exactly what was used. And every Sunday night, the team does a full physical inventory count. This combination gives us the best of both worlds, speed and accuracy. Here's what a typical weekly inventory looks like. You can see entries for chicken thighs, fresh culantro, and coconut milk. We record the par level, what we started with, what we received, what was used, what's left at the end of the week, and any variance. This system helps us catch issues quickly, reduce waste, and make sure we always have the right amounts of signature ingredients like culantro, yuca, and coconut milk ready for service. Let's talk about the numbers that keep our operation healthy, the food budget. With 250 to 300 covers served every day and a target food cost between 28 and 32%, we set our weekly food budget between $18,500 and $22,000. That comes out to roughly $79,500 to $94,600 per month. We break this down across 4 main purchasing categories, so everything stays balanced. Proteins, chicken, beef, and seafood are our biggest spend, at about $7,500 to $9,000 per week. Produce and specialty items, like culantro, yuca, and panela, come in at $4,500 to $5,500. Dairy and dry goods run $3,000 to $3,800, and beverages plus bar items are budgeted at $2,000 to $2,500 weekly. Staying within these ranges helps us deliver the quality our guests expect while protecting the restaurant's profitability. When you're involved in ordering or inventory, these numbers are your guide. They ensure we're making smart decisions that support the overall guest experience at Lalays. To keep our food cost right where we want it, between 28 and 32%, we follow 5 practical habits every single day. The chef reviews these against actual spending each month, so we stay on track. First, we do batch cooking. Instead of making huge amounts of sauces or rice at once, we prepare smaller batches throughout the shift. This keeps everything fresh and prevents waste at the end of the night. Second, strict portion control. We use scales and standard scoops for every protein and high-cost item. This stops overportioning and makes sure every plate is consistent. Third, we keep daily waste logs. If something is getting thrown away regularly, we can quickly adjust our prep amounts for the next day. Fourth, smart repurposing of leftovers. Vegetable scraps become stock, day-old bread turns into croutons, and extra protein often becomes staff meals. Nothing good goes to waste. And fifth, menu engineering. We actively push higher profit items like our chicken sancocho and coconut tembleque while using lower-cost daily specials to help balance the menu. When everyone on the team follows these habits, it makes a huge difference in our numbers and helps protect the quality and pricing our guests enjoy. Getting ingredients into the building safely is just as important as how we store them. Here's exactly how we handle receiving and storage at Lalays. When a delivery arrives, a manager checks it immediately. We take temperatures on all cold and frozen items, inspect the packaging, look for any damage, and check expiration dates. If anything doesn't meet our standards, we reject it right away. No exceptions. Once we accept a delivery, it goes straight into the proper storage area. Refrigerated items stay between 35 and 40 degrees, with raw proteins always placed on the bottom shelves. Frozen items must stay at 0 degrees or below. Dry goods are kept 6 inches off the floor and away from the walls. And remember, every single item gets labeled with the date it was received and its use-by date. We follow strict FIFO rotation throughout the entire storeroom, so the oldest product is always used first. Food safety is non-negotiable at Lalays, so we follow a HACCP-based food safety plan. This system helps us identify and control the most critical points in our operation, especially cooking temperatures, proper cooling methods, and hot and cold holding times during every shift. To make this work on a daily basis, we have 4 key practices in place. All of our managers and supervisors maintain current ServSafe Manager certification. We keep detailed daily logs. Temperature records, sanitation checklists, and cleaning schedules are filled out every single day. Our records are always inspection ready, so we're prepared if the health department ever walks in. And finally, we stay fully aligned with South Carolina DHEC regulations as well as the latest FDA food code requirements. When everyone follows these standards, we protect our guests, our team, and the reputation of Lalays. We also take sustainability and ethics seriously in the storeroom. It's part of how we honor the ingredients and the community around us. On the purchasing side, we focus on local and seasonal ingredients from South Carolina farms whenever they're available. Our seafood comes from suppliers who use sustainable methods, and we choose fair trade or organic options for coffee, chocolate, and spices when local alternatives aren't possible. Inside the kitchen, we're very careful with waste. Vegetable trimmings and herb stems get turned into stocks and sauces. Pre-consumer kitchen waste is composted, and any extra prepared food is donated to local food banks. We use portion control tools and daily waste logs to keep track of what's being thrown away, and day-old bread is repurposed into croutons or daily specials instead of going in the trash. These practices help lower our costs, shrink our environmental footprint, and stay true to the fresh, natural, and responsible image that defines Lalays Pan-American cuisine.